I asked a question, you answered, so I'm going to answer your questions that you asked. I think that's how this video is going to work. I'm going to work through 7 or 8 questions about hiking, camping, wild camping, running and gear reviews. So I'm going to start with the first question that I got asked. I'll work my way through to the last question. I'll put the questions on the screen here and then I'll answer them. So, Stephen Beattie, a good friend of mine. First one in, what to recommend for a first hike for someone that's not done it before, locations and supplies needed with you. So I've went with the first one that got us into the hiking scene, the Sleeve Binion Blue Lock 10k loop. You'll start at Carrickliddle car park, follow the wall up the Sleeve Binion, across to the North Tour, down to Buzzard's Roost, Binion or Bencrum viewpoint, down past the Blue Lock and back to the car. Like I say, it's 10k, 6 mile. I'll be honest, you could do it at any levels of fitness if you've got enough time throughout the day. It took us 6 hours, I think, the first day we've done it. Loved every minute of it. We got a nice clear day, great views down over Silent Valley Reservoir and the likes. Supplies would have been 2 sandwiches, 1.5 litres to 2 litres of water, big bag of sweets, bar of chocolate and a bag of crisps. Nothing fancy there. And in the summer months you could probably do it in probably shorts, socks, t-shirt, raincoat and a decent pair of trainers with good grip on them. So hopefully that answers the first one for you, Stephen, and might get you out on the trails soon enough. Question number 2 comes from people that I know that have followed the page and the YouTube channel from basically the start, so thanks very much guys. The Woody Wanderer, what was the prompt that got you started into hiking? And from Thomas, it is what got you into the mountains and wild camping? So I've got a couple of questions like this where it's nearly enough the same answer, so I'll group them together. So this one for me is, I've played football and coached football for 30 years. That was Tuesday, Thursday nights, all day Saturdays out of the house, and then probably throwing in an extra run during the week. So out of the house 4 nights a week with kids, and then I retired from that, gave it up, and I was never for giving up a Saturday. And if you remember from the early days, I done a blog channel, Jeff's Travels, went around the country, just blogging about the place, and then we got bit by the bug. Go back to the first question. Went up Sleeve Binion, cracking day for it. Never looked back since. I was always into camping anyway, but we decided to add in the mountains for camping, and that's how we got into wild camping as well. So that was the prompt for hiking and wild camping. Question number 3 from James Out and About NA YouTube channel. What type of camping location is your favourite, e.g. coast, mountains or woodlands? James, for me it would be mountain tops. Definitely would be my favourite. Gives you that total peace and quiet when you're up there, especially in a still evening. You know yourself, you've been up there hundreds of times probably. Coastal camps would be my next. Again, it gives you that stillness as well. Sometimes you have the sea lapping in behind you, and then you'll get your good views as well. Woodlands, I've done a couple and I'm not a big fan of, to be honest. So I'm not, but I'll do them, don't get me wrong. It's always great to be out in a tent in any sort of situation. That would be, well, I'll actually put that number 4, woodlands, but then you'll have number 3 will be in like the valleys of the mountains. A lowland camp, which I would call, where Stephen and myself would probably do a bit more cooking, proper cooking, over the stoves and stuff like that there. So, mountain tops number 1, coastal's number 2, lowland in the mountains number 3, and woodlands number 4. Not knocking the woodland camps, but it's just the way I'd place them, so it is. Question number 4 from Wayne Hannah, camp in Ireland. Have you found a method of cooking a pizza on a wild camp yet? Short answer, Wayne, no, but I've had to think about it, and I could cook one up the night before camp, maybe bring a small frying pan with a lid and put the lid over it so it generates enough heat in round the pizza to cook. Hopefully that answers your question, and maybe we'll do it on our next camp. Question number 5 from Mike Connolly, YouTube channel. Hi Jeff, thinking of getting a new pair of boots. Do you have any experience of Altberg brand? By the way, watching your uploads, great energy. Thanks very much, Michael, for that one. Unfortunately, I've had no experience on the Altberg brand, but I've had a conversation with Mike about the stuff, boots and stuff like that there. I'm trying to break away from boots themselves and just stick to trail runners and the likes. But unfortunately, when you're up the moors, and I think Mike is in Southern Ireland most of the times, so the terrain will demand a pair of boots eventually. But so we've had a conversation back and forth about footwear and stuff, and I've recommended trail runners, but I think one of Mike's last trips out, he's unfortunately broke an ankle wearing trail runners. He's come off a rock or a boulder, I think it was, and broke the ankle unfortunately. So hopefully he'll get back out again soon enough, Mike. Back on the feet, back in the mountains again. And I love watching the channel, great channel. A bit more in depth about the routes and stuff that he uses, brilliant. I like to see that sort of stuff. I like to see people do different sort of stuff when they're out and about in the mountains. So, but to answer the question, unfortunately, no experience on the Altberg brand, sorry. Question number 6 from NI Adventure. Standard kit for your hikes and runs. Standard kit wise for a hike, a day hike, at the moment is definitely trail runners, like I've touched on. Sealskin socks, but you can wear any sort of socks, trust me. I don't mind getting my feet wet, so I don't. At the moment I'm in the shorts, t-shirts, and a good waterproof coat. Food wise for hiking, I wouldn't leave the house without 2 litres of water, at least 1 sandwich, chocolate bar, crisps, and a full packet of sweets. That would be from anything from 1 peak to 3 peaks. I think that should get you through a good day hike, so it should. For runs, I'm trying trail vests. So I'm new to them myself. For 10 miles, I would go 2 to 3 energy gels, a litre of water, 500 mils in the front and 500 mils in the back, so you can definitely refuel yourself, and a full packet of sweets, jelly babies. But that's just me. I know you're out flat out in the mountains yourself, and I love watching your stuff on Instagram and stuff like that there. I'm pretty sure you're probably more experienced about food ways and fueling for your runs. So, sort of question back to you, what would you bring on your hikes and runs? Question number 7 comes from Nathan Hogg and Seamus Delaney. Like I said, I'm going to group these together because they're near enough the same question. So Nathan Hogg has asked, where do you park to start your hike and camping up the moors, which is safe, the park? Same from Seamus Delaney. So Stephen, Neil and myself have parked in various car parks along the moors, but the 2 safest I would go with would be Millmore Lodge, where you pay £8 a night and there's plenty of car parking spaces. You have a shower facility and a toilet facility which you can use before or after your hike or camping. Now, for Millmore Lodge, your best bets would probably be Slieve Berna, Slieve Millmore, Slieve Millbeg, but you can also go further on into the mountains if you're looking a longer hike and camp. Car parking spot number 2, where you can pay again, is Carrick Little. It's a top car park up the lane where you pay £5 for overnight, and I think it's £3 for a day hike. So again, you're parking there, and you'd have Slieve Binion for a hike and a camp, in around the Blue Lock for a camp, Slieve Lamagan for hikes, and along Valley, anywhere in round there. And again, you can push further across the Ben Crum Reservoir and the lakes for that there. But that's your two best car parks where you pay, and there's CCTV at both of them, I think. Now, you are leaving your car at a risk, at your own risk, in these places. Like I'm sure you know yourselves, you're experienced guys. We have parked at Car Park, Hen Mountain Car Park, Leitrim Lodge, Donard Car Park and the likes. No problems before. Well, we had one problem at Car Park where we came back down off the mountain and one of our cars was silage dropped by farmers or somebody who has access to silage drop. But luckily enough, a fellow hiker that was coming up the track had taken it off and binned it for us. So anywhere we don't have many problems, but just don't leave valuables in your car, guys. I'm pretty sure you know that. But Millmore Lodge and Carrick Little Top Car Park would be your best bets. Next question is from Colin McMahon, the Cooley Mountain man himself, from Instagram. Honestly, you just want to get onto this, man. Brilliant page, out every day of the week, near full outdoors, brilliant. My question is, what is your biggest motivation? I was going to group this one in with what prompted you to do the hiking and stuff, but I think motivation is a wee bit different. So motivation for me to get out hiking, running especially, is just pure fitness. It's just, I'm 43 years of age now and I just want to keep as high as I can on the fitness scale. I have two young kids at 5 and 7 and I don't want to be lethargic around them or anything. I want to hopefully get them involved in the outdoors, anything, hockey, football, running, just to keep them fit as well, because kids do spend too much time on this and on TVs and stuff like that there. But for me, motivation, definitely fitness. I could go up the mountains and it wouldn't bother me if I had a view or not, but I would always want to do at least 6-7 miles when I'm up there, get a good sweat on, keep the heart rate pumping and stuff like that there. But definitely motivation is the fitness side of it. You've probably guessed by now I've lost count, that's what I have of the questions, but this one's from Carl Explorer in Scotland, YouTube channel. What's your favourite music, genre or album? Where is the one place you want to visit that you already haven't? What's your best buy when it comes to outdoor gear? What are 9/9s? So I'll answer the first part. What's the favourite music or genre or album? I'll be honest, I could take or leave music. I have no major love for it at all. I don't know why. So I actually don't think I've ever bought an album or a CD or anything in my life. Might come as a surprise to some people, but I don't think I have ever done that. Where is the one place you want to visit that you already haven't? So I'll probably go in around Switzerland and the likes for further afield, mainland Europe, but obviously I'll have to wait till the kids grow up for that one. Closer to home, Highlands probably in Scotland, in around Glencoe and the likes. I've seen a lot of videos on that there, or even around Boot and Argyll. I've mentioned that before to you. You have some cracking pitch ups over there. So you do. What are 9/9s? Or in fact, sorry, even closer to home, where I haven't visited, more Donegal and more in Wicklow, definitely. What are 9/9s? 81. I think that's the answer anyway. What's your best buy when it comes to outdoor gear? Again, I'll harp back to trail runners. We started in boots, which is fair enough. You do need boots at some stage, but I've never looked back since I've started wearing trail runners. So comfortable, light, and they dry quicker as well. I have more flexibility in them when I'm coming down off mountains, which I detest at the best of times, but that's my favourite bit of gear. All great questions, guys, and thanks very much. But the last one goes to Stephen Haggerty. I got asked this on YouTube, and I think it's a great question. So here we go. Okay, here's one for you. How do you see your gear and types of trips evolving over time? I started years ago with heavy backpacks, beer, too much gear, and puffing, trying to hike up mountains, and have evolved to using light packs, running sections of the trail with my pack, more health focused with no alcohol or overcomplicated food cooking? Do you see anything changing at all in the future? Here goes, Stephen. And to be honest, I have answered the question to you, and it's like I thought that I had asked the question to myself, because so how do you see your gear types evolving over time and the heavier backpacks? So my backpack is heavy at the moment, but I do want to get it down lighter. I'm never going to go ultra light, but I wouldn't mind running the flats when you're up at the top of mountains, maybe to get to the next peak. So I would need it to get it down lighter. I don't bring much alcohol. In fact, when I'm going to summits, I don't bring alcohol at all to summit camps, because if I was to bring 4 beer, you're adding 2.5 kilograms on that backpack, which I don't need. More health focused, yes, definitely. Overcomplicated food and cooking. If you've watched the channel, and hopefully you have, I think you have, engaged a lot of videos. I brought 2 pot noodles, which weighed 150 grams. I was near going to say 150 kilograms. That would have been heavy. But that's how I like to do my cooking when I'm on summits. Bring it down to as light as possible. 2 pot noodles with 150 grams, and it gives you enough fuel to see you out the night. Do you see anything changing at all in the future? Hopefully longer hikes to camps, but again that comes with fitness and gear. I'm not going to go. We done a hike in Wicklow and I was blowing. It was only 10k over 2 mountains. It was Brock Mountain and up the Tonlagee Mountain, which was 790 metres or something. I can't remember the exact, but it near killed me, so it did. I was puffing the whole way up and the sweat, my clothes were soaking near the top. So I need to look into that, lighten my gear, and just be sensible about routes and stuff like that there for the longer hikes to camps. Hopefully that has answered that question, which was a great question, totally in depth, and thanks very much for that one. Thanks very much for all the questions, guys. A nice Q&A on a Sunday afternoon down at Lurgan Park. Hopefully the birds weren't too loud for the video itself. Great questions, all of them. I grouped a couple together there because I thought they were the same sort of type of questions, and I didn't want to answer the same question twice. I'll leave it here. And next week I've got the mighty hike, which hopefully Stephen and myself will complete. 26 miles along the Causeway Coast. I'll bring you along as always, and thanks very much for watching this one. All questions were greatly appreciated, and I did get back to all of them, hopefully, on Instagram, TikTok, on YouTube, on Facebook and the likes. So thanks very much. I'll see you all out in the trails again.